All right. Hello, stream, and double checking settings. Yeti microphone, and it's coming in pretty well. Pretty well, pretty well. I'll take that audio. Hi, stream. Hi, YouTube. I am hanging out. Was gonna record some videos. Good reminder to push the start recording video. We're gonna record some videos. Um, I've been mashing up clips around local news stuff and getting better at like creating thumbnails, trying to get a channel going, and um, trying to figure out where streams fit into the equation. Like I know they can be used in a good way to engage, and I know personally they can be kind of a moment and where like it helps me focus having to be live with people. Um, but at the same times, I'm very ADHD, so sometimes my videos go on longer, and sometimes it's just easier to record a specific thing um, without streaming. So we're figuring it out, and have my I gotta move this layer up. Braden Miguel vibing. All right. So cool. Um, this is the YouTube page. Few videos up there, and it's going to be a bigger place. Um, I gotta move this layer up. Braden Miguel vibing. There we are. All right. Cool. Easiest way to find me is that link tree. I do both news of the moment, political commentary, but more so on the how do we activate people and trying to dive into certain topics and give it more nuance than traditional media does. And um, a lot of right now is trying to get things going and my legs under me and more comfortable and enjoying the streaming and posting and growing something. So yeah, this is the link tree. So link tr.ee/community driven, and I have some blog articles on my website as well as all my main pages. I'll figure out where I want to mainly stream one day, but for now, you can share love wherever. And is this an link tree? Is giving me an ad while I show my link tree to you all. Um, Sweet. Let's jump into going through this. About 15 minutes. My food will be done. And I don't mean for this to be longer, and if I need to chunk this into 2 bits, we'll do it. Let's find big screen Braden. Yeah, but like just me. There we go. Because I don't. I mean, I think this is fine. I'm more center. It'll be easier to grab it later. All right. So, hello, Douglas County. I assume my name is Braden. I pretty much grew up here from third grade on, um, graduating high school. went to college at CU Boulder for 5 years. Been living back since 2015, and um, found my way towards politics and government and change. I always thought I'd be a teacher, and was a huge like passion of mine. And I eventually found my way towards organizing and political change, as seeing like teaching helps like a batch of students and it really impacts lives. But what kind of is my calling at maybe a higher level? And so, yeah, I ponder that sometimes, and that's what got me involved, was trying to do more for our environment and around education and mentoring people. And so, school board is one of those things that those in our county know, um, that it's a topic um, of interest, because we've seen wide, broad strokes of changes, and a battle has become a battleground when it didn't really need to. I think for years, school boards weren't as much of this like moneyed election power grab type thing, but over the last 20 years, in like 20 to 25 years, in at least here in Colorado, it has become this area where coming in to try to change the direction and push these programs that are someone's idea from the outside and not really community, and not and it took a while to see the negative side, and having a bunch of leaders not talk to the people to energize the parents and people to organize from across the aisles to try to get more funding towards public schools. And we're seeing the most recent election, huge news and fuss around masks and some of this like critical race theory. Those are two huge button topics that got a lot of Republicans out to vote on an off year. It's about 15% of the total vote. Often is what you'd see in an off year, and sometimes even less than that. And really, no grace was given or nuance. Their whole rhetoric of getting of their push for different leaders and new leaders. So it's really kind of, it's not surprising when they come in and just push forward with an agenda and not kind of consider talking to the people more. Um, we're gonna I think when I do this, um, I'm kind of, let's see. Let's just make it big, Braden. All right. These are my 5 top criticisms about the new Douglas County School Board majority. Number 1 is that they're not really gathering data and representing as a democratic unit and they're not highlighting the data behind what they're hearing. So they're getting emails from people, and they're getting people show up for public comment. Sneeze. So the system we have is a democratic republic. Every few years, we get a chance to come together and cast a ballot. And when those ballots are counted, someone goes into that position who has say over what happens. It's in a republic. They have those figureheads, those people that can decide, and every once in a while, we get to vote them in, vote them out. We have the potential to lean more into the democratic side by using data and statistics, but we're not seeing that ushered as a priority, and especially here where it's so in your face, some of the numbers, when you see 2/3 of public comment be around against the decisions they're doing, you have to believe that they between that and the emails, they have a lot of data of what the community is saying. And if they wanted to represent from the community angle, that they could do a better job of understanding the data and what people think. In further points of frustration, I think I'm going to go much deeper into like the strategy and how they are being disingenuous. But just this first point being, they could govern from data and being closer to a democracy, but they are not. They are choosing to go through and make their own leadership choices, and regardless of the numbers they hear back, claim things like, my community says this, which is the cheap, easy answer when you could learn what people in your different stakeholder groups think and give time to consider that and give well thought out reasons. Even if you want to go, let's say it's a close 50-50 or 60-40, but you have strong reasons on your leadership and morals that you decide one way, at least you can be open and honest about that. What we get now, we're not really seeing it, and we're not privy to that knowledge, which only helps them work more in the shadows and us less in the light. Reason two of frustration is that they are bearing the lead, and this whole process is being manipulated and grafted in this way, where they can try to claim as much like rapport and that they're giving things due process when really they are rushing things forward. We saw this from the get go. Decisions made within a month about making masks optional. We saw this within that next month where they hinted at wanting to make changes to the equity possible and that they were working with an outside group to craft language. And 4 days before a meeting, released that language, two of which are weekend days, and gave the community that much time to read and respond. It's really, and sometimes creating meetings with uh, they needed to give 24 hours notice, but like really pushing the 24-hour or 48-hour, like changing the deadlines of events. You build trust between giving time to connect and understand um, the values and what creates the decisions for another person. And through the action of having closed door meetings and making changes in quick succession without giving time to the community, you're being disingenuous. And when you try to claim that you're you care for the community, you can understand now why a large portion is up in arms and angry. Um, there's a lot of deceitful spin that was thrown at teachers um, and claiming that the process is fine to hire a superintendent in a month. Two of which those weeks are um, have to be given as time for the offer. So you're pretty much doing most of the work in like a 2-3 week process. And I think this, yeah. The number 3 reason for frustration is this working in the shadows that I already started to point out. It's crafting language that will change the whole district's potential future in terms of equity, resources given to special education, and other gifted, talented programs, and some students who are struggling more is when you decide to make changes to that language, but you don't allow for feedback until 4 days beforehand, and you pass the language as is, regardless of amazing feedback given by speakers. You're working from the shadows, and it's not good when another example, Mike Peterson, before even going to the current superintendent at the time, Corey Wise, had already gone out and talked to someone about, would you consider being in this position? You were this interim position at one point at this county level, but his job at that time wasn't necessary. It should have been, okay, what are the reviews, and what kind of feedback can I give? Not, I'm already like, another example, putting off the school board retreat with staff and making it multiple school-wide decisions around values and trust without even having a retreat where you define and better understand the values and how trust is built with others that you're supposed to be working together with. I think, yeah. Um, pizza. Actually, enchiladas. I have one of these, maybe. Be right back message. This. Push browse. Um, Even though it's a short break, I want to get this image in there. There we go. Okay. Back, 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 back. All right. Reason number 4 of frustration is the. Okay, record that one more time. Reason number 4 of frustration is the stressful, divisive tactics that are being used. The creating meetings and agendas for meetings that have 24 to 48 hours of time before monumental decisions like a superintendent are being made at. Um, Releasing a policy change 4 days, 2 of which are weekend, um, and only a small amount of people seeing them before they're changed. These things are stressful. It's the future of the students in the district and people's children. And when you're creating these changes where it can impact the teachers and the morale at the schools, and if people feel like they have a voice or not, it affects stress and burnout and makes things harder for certain people. And especially so the people on the other side of the aisle, like they are coming from the a perspective of, I mean, the people on their side are okay with what they're doing and are getting energized by it. Um, but if you're an elected official, you should be able to look further than the people who already have your back and how it affects a community. And um, these tactics are, I mean, I feel it in myself, but I see it even more in people who have children in the district that when you're recording and you have to sneeze. Ooh, I got a chat. I don't know what it means. Oh. So just seeing the energy and but then claiming to trying to bring people together and that they're in alignment with things. um they just know full well that when you make quick decisions, it's going to cause stress and burnout to others. And I, at this point, almost want to say that it's they don't care, and it's almost if they can do a lot of things in quick succession, it almost helps them because there are things from January that I still think are wrong and haven't gotten the attention it deserved, but they just keep moving the goalposts and the um, I don't know if goalpost is the right analogy, but moving the discussion point and doing so in a way where it's hard not to react to, um, even when reacting to it is important. And so the biggest frustration, like the fifth one, is the opportunity cost. Um, Thinking back to some of my high school classes, one of the concepts that stuck with me is this idea of opportunity cost, and there isn't nothing as no such thing as free, because on some element of time investment, etc., it has a cost. Sneezes, go away. Oh, the cats. I'm not used to having cats around. I'm house sitting. house sitting stream. Um, where was I? So it's a huge frustration as this opportunity cost. They could have from the get go, before the new year even started, planned out and had a retreat to talk values. Instead, conversations and feelings were being felt of mistrust or unsure of the right direction, and instead of going to have an event with the leaders who have input and share different perspectives, holding on to that and making decisions and changes with disregard to that. And so a lot of what we're seeing comes from that similar mentality, but just think about if the last few months were instead spent having like forums and dialogue and polling, she better understand the biggest concerns for students or those who have children in the schools or the teachers, etc. And some element of that. And we're having all this energy having to be put into a new superintendent and money and I don't know when we'll get the data of if this has had wider effects on staffing, but there's a huge opportunity cost of, I think, focus on changing a policy meant for equity and taking out leaders whose focus and time had been spent in the community and beloved. Even in your own comments said nothing negative and just use subjective reasons. That there's the huge opportunity cost of this all. We'll never really know it. It's going to have impacts for years. And when all these different points of frustration come together, it's just a hot mess. And they're going to try to claim that, like, it's based in community, and they're going to try to say they give it due process. But all these come together, they're not acting in a manner that truly befits someone trying to bring unity and the best ideas forward. It is a process. They're using the playbook of make wide sweeping changes, make people mad, and hope that can get away with it without it negatively impacting who we care about more or most. So we'll see how this plays out. And I just wanted to record my top frustrations. Yeah, when someone asks for people's trust but doesn't necessarily give it to others, and if you're setting things up in a way that regardless of who replaces you next, things are unified and people are together, you're doing it right. If you're already causing such a commotion, you're not doing things right from the get-go, and you're just hoping that you'll be able to run or it won't affect you too much later if things go in a different direction. That's not unity. That's not being compassionate to your fellow neighbor regardless of certain details. That's not. I'm gonna stop the recording. That's one video. Now I have two of these activities I want to do, but my food's done, so I'm gonna go grab my food. Where's my be right back screen? This one. And then now that the harder one's done, We're gonna do these. We're gonna eat. We're gonna do these other things that I want to share on stream and video. And then the spring events list. I sort of just want to eat and then review stream. I know no one's really watching. This was a test mostly. I'm going to do some of those other things separately. So, stream, have a great evening. Catch you on the next one.